Hi, and welcome to another session of the Female Disruptors second annual virtual summit. The theme this year is Unstoppable. My name is Lisa Beyer, and I am the founder of Female Disruptors, and I am here to introduce one of our keynotes, and her name is Julie Voris. And just a quick background about how I discovered Julie, which is kind of random, but it just goes to show you how being on Instagram works.
True.
So I live in Celebration, Florida. Julie lives close to me in Windermere, Orlando, basically, for those of you that don't know, the little micro communities in Central Florida. And I also manage my husband's Instagram account, and somehow we started following Julie, and she's like a huge Disney freak in a good way. But she's also super inspirational, entrepreneur, fitness guru, mom. She used to be a high school teacher, and now she's teaching other women how to make 7-figure plus incomes, which I am so impressed. Not more, but equally, she wakes up every morning, and I'm pretty sure you do a live every morning. So let's just go with it. Which I give you so much credit. It's so much motivation and inspiration. So Julie, I'm going to hand it over to you. Whatever I left out, fill in, and I'm so excited for you to inspire female disruptors today.
I am so excited. I want to pull up, before you go, Lisa, I want to make sure that my slides pull up. You know, one never knows. Okay, there we go. There we are. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. I will come back to those. We'll stop the share for a moment. I'll come back to those because I am so excited to be here today. I mean, it's the middle of your work week, and here we are taking time out of our day. I want to make sure that the women that are here, the humans that are here, whether you're here live or whether you're here on the replay, give yourselves a huge pat on the back, a huge round of congratulations, because it takes a special kind of person to say, I'm going to invest in myself. I see the long play here. I'm going to invest in my growth because I know where I want to go. And I know that where I am has just barely scratched the surface of where I want to go. So congratulations to you. And I'm just so grateful to be here with you who are live, to be here with you who are watching on the replay. And I hope today that something clicks, there's a light bulb that turns on, and that it just inspires you in a way that maybe you haven't thought of your life before, that you haven't thought of habits before, that you haven't thought of really getting into the driver's seat of your life before. That's my hope for us today. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to share my screen. This is always the tricky part. Like, is technology going to work? And it is. So this is very exciting. This is a very good sign. The technology is working. And this is me. I am so glad to meet all of you. I hope sometime at some point we can actually meet in real life. My name is Julie Voris. I do live here in Windermere, Florida. And the reason why this is such a big deal for me is because it hasn't even been a year. We moved here from Indiana. We lived in Indiana for 16 years. Before that, lots of other places. My husband has been a college football coach, and this has always been our dream. This moving to Florida, living close to Disney, living in a place where I can literally hear the fireworks from my house. That's always been our dream. And while that might not be your dream, you have a dream. You have something in your life that you want. You have some sort of big dream. What I find sometimes with women is they forget how to dream. They lost giving themselves permission how to dream. And so we'll talk about that today. This has been our dream, my dream since high school. My husband and I have been together for a very long time. And this has been something that we wanted for a long time. So come March 1st, we will have been here for a year. So I feel very new here in Florida. I love it so much. I was a former high school English teacher. I kind of fell into fitness. It uncovered the passion that the path that I was supposed to be doing all this time with my life. I remember the morning that I woke up getting ready to go teach a class at my local YMCA thinking, oh, that's right. This is what I was supposed to be doing all along. I've turned that into a passion for helping women do the same, to find their purpose and their path, and connecting them with opportunities and vehicles that help them both uncover that and then build, as Lisa mentioned, 6, 7, 8-figure businesses, because I really believe in the power of women making money. I want you making an impact, and I want you making an income. I would love for us to connect on Instagram. That's where I live. That is my home base. I love Instagram so much. I think social media is an incredible way for us to connect with people all over the world. And also on there, I'll have something free for you. We'll talk about that at the end. So I hope that we can connect on Instagram. Okay, let's get into this, because we got stuff to do and I want to honor your time. This is the number one question that I get all the time. And And as a high achiever, because you're here, because you're a high achiever, as a high achiever, you might have heard this too. And it wasn't until really the pandemic when we sort of had this pause in our life. And I still kept showing up. I still kept getting up at 5 a.m. I still kept doing the thing, that I started to try to connect the dots. I would get this question all the time. I got this question long before the pandemic. You might be getting it too. I just didn't have a structure behind it. I didn't have time to figure out, why am I so motivated all the time? And is it really motivation? And as the pandemic progressed, and as we were quarantined for so long, and I just had some time to put thought to this, I realized it's not motivation, that I have habits, and that I'm not inspired on a daily basis. I literally do not wake up out of bed and I'm so inspired. I'm on fire for what I get to do, but I'm not so inspired, but I'm very consistent. And I'm not lucky. And listen, nothing drives me more crazy. And especially when you get it from family who say, you're so lucky. No, I'm not. Neither are you. We're just willing. We're just willing to do the thing that anyone can do. Successful people will do what others won't. Not what they can't, but just what they won't. So I'm not motivated or inspired or lucky. I just happen to have habits. I'm very consistent, and I happen to be willing. And what we're going to talk about today is helping you leverage the power of habits too. I try to make some book recommendations throughout this. So if you have not read any of these books, jot them down. And if you've got any questions, stick them in the chat or in the Q&A or whatever. And we can talk about them, but I've got some book recommendations kind of throughout. So people talk about this all the time. And I'm telling you, this drives me absolutely insane, because women talk about this most of the time, about when we're going to go after those dreams. And almost always it's after the kids are gone, or when life settles down, or when life gets less crazy, or when I'm not so busy. And I'm going to tell you 100% will happen. And frankly, you don't really want it to, because a life that's not busy is probably kind of boring. A few years ago, not that long ago, actually, it was 2021. I had a mindset coach say to me for the first time, because I had been saying this too. Oh, we're going to move to Florida someday. We're going to live next to Disney someday. I had been saying that too. And for the first time, I had a mindset coach actually say to me, when is that someday? Let's put a date on it. And that changed everything. So my question to you is, when is your someday, and what are you waiting for? Because if you are waiting for life to get less busy, if you're waiting for the craziness to settle down, if you're waiting for the stars to align and the moment to feel like the right moment to actually start working on your goals and dreams, yours, because you have them as a human being person, your goals and dreams, you will be waiting until the end of your life. I promise you that. So it's time to actually put a date on that someday, and then start taking small daily steps towards creating that someday now. It wasn't until my mindset coach said it's time to put a date on it that I got very serious. And here's what's so cool about when you put that stuff out into the universe is, as soon as I put a date on it, as soon as I did, I started to put action behind that. And we moved to Florida years, literal years, before I ever thought we would. So my question to you is, when is your someday? And how about we stop saying someday and we start putting a date on it? What do I think is at the root of creating your life on purpose with purpose? I think there are 3 components to it. Number 1, I think it's your habits. That is what we will spend the most time on today. Number 2 is your belief. And number 3 is your community. Your habits are really the main catalyst. However, without a deep belief that you are capable of more, and you already have that, that's why you're here. You likely already know to your bone that you are capable of more. Maybe you're just not quite sure what that more looks like, and maybe you're just not quite sure how to make that more happen, but you have a belief. I believe we all have that belief that we're capable of more. So your habits get fueled by this belief, and they also get fueled by your community, because we know we are the sum total of the people that we hang out with. And if you're hanging out with people who are talking about goals and dreams and what they want to do in their life, that's what you start talking about too. I think these 3 pieces are integral. They are crucial towards actually creating and living your life on purpose with purpose. And when they come together, this is my perfect little Venn diagram. When they come together, this is the life that I think everyone wants. And I think that most of us believe it's so hard because women underestimate what we can do in our lives. We overestimate what we can do in our day. We underestimate the impact and the income that we can create in our lives. But when we get these three pieces aligned, what we do every single day, our habits, fueled by this belief that we are here for something more, and fueled by a community that supports that, that's when our life gets really in flow. And that's when it doesn't have to be hard. Creating a life on purpose with purpose shouldn't feel like a drag. It shouldn't feel like you're going uphill all the time. Is it going to be work? Yes. So is everything. Creating kind of a crappy life is work too, right? Why not create a life on purpose with purpose that feels in flow, that feels like you're making that impact, that lets you create income, lets you do something that you love. So when you get up every morning, everybody else asks you, how are you so motivated? And your answer is, well, I'm creating my life on purpose with purpose. I'm aligning my habits with my belief and my community, and it's coming together in this gorgeous Venn diagram of a life on purpose with purpose. Okay, awesome. But how do we do that? How do we do that? So let's talk about the community piece first, and just give yourself some ratings quickly. The piece we'll spend the most time on are your habits. So let's just touch on this quickly. Think about, what is the conversation in your community like on the daily? What are you talking about? Are you talking about goals and dreams and vision? Are you talking about laundry and to-do list and wine night? Truly think about, what are you talking about with your communities? Are you talking about school pickup? Are you talking about what your kids are doing? Or are you talking about what you are doing? What's the energy like where you hang out virtually and in real life? The energy here is fire, because you're in rooms with people who want to level up. Are you in these kinds of spaces daily? Because we are also responsible for the energy that we bring into a room. Yes. What energy are you bringing into those spaces? It's real easy to go to work virtually and in real life and complain about the other people. Well, we're responsible for our energy as well. Our community is so important because it's going to support that belief and support those habits. So really quick, give yourself a rating. Where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? What's the conversation like? What's the energy like? And what energy are you bringing to the spaces where you hang out? Let's keep going. Let's talk about belief. I believe that every human being on this earth was born with I call it a spark, that you are made for something more. There's a spark in you that knows that you're made for something more. Some people actually fan that flame, and some people choose not to. Some people understand, acknowledge, and embrace that belief, and some people choose not to. I think your habits and your community can fuel that. I think we all know we're made for something more, right? I think we all know that none of us are here to live an average, ordinary life. None of us were put here to be mediocre. So we have to do some habits, have some actions in our life that help us fuel that belief, because it's real easy to get sucked into not believing. It's real easy to get sucked into comparison. It's real easy to get kind of sucked down that rabbit hole of not feeling like your dreams and goals can come true. So we've got to do the work to fuel that. So I'm asking you, what are you reading? Are you reading People magazine? Or are you reading stuff that fuels your mind? How are you choosing what you're listening to? What kind of podcasts? What kind of books? What are you listening to? Is it true crime? Or is it stuff that can fuel your mind? Like, it's a gut check sometimes, yes? How much time do you actually implement the personal development that you're listening to? Or are you just, I'm going to read 500 books this year. That's awesome. But what if you read 12 and you actually implemented something out of all those 12? Maybe more isn't better. Maybe intentional is better. A tiny little bit of belief that we all have that fuels a tiny little bit of action gives you a little bit more confidence. And that confidence fuels your belief, which creates a little bit more action, which creates a little bit more confidence, which creates a little bit more belief, which creates a little bit more action. And all of a sudden you're operating not based on if you feel like doing something, but because you believe that what you're doing is worthwhile. So what are you doing to fuel that belief? Here's another book recommendation, Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. If you have not read it, I cannot recommend it strongly enough. And I do recommend the audio because she reads it and it's amazing. It's so good. Okay, let's talk about the needle mover. And this is the rocket fuel for life. Should I open up the chat just to see what's happening? Oh my God, someone's on from the Philippines. That's incredible. I love this. Women all over the world taking control, getting in the driver's seat of their life. I'm obsessed with this. All right, let's talk about the piece that I think is the needle mover, the rocket fuel for your life, and that's your habits. When I say everything is habits, I really mean everything is habits. My question to you is, when your alarm went off this morning, did you hit snooze? Because that's a habit. When you see someone else on social media, do you immediately compare yourself to them? Because that's a habit. Everything we do, we think, that's a habit. And here's what's so amazing about that is we're in charge of our habits. When we realize hitting snooze is a habit. Hemming and hawing or procrastinating on our workout, which we know will make us feel better. Movement is medicine. We know it'll make us feel better. That's a habit. Choosing a less than awesome nutritional choice that doesn't really make us feel good, that's a habit. That's a habit. Picking up the People magazine instead of personal development. It's a habit. Everything is a habit. How we speak to our spouse, how we speak to our children, how we speak to ourselves, we get in these habits. And if we can start to see that everything is a habit, we can start to understand we have the power to choose them. And these habits that we're going to talk about are specifically connected to the life that you want to create on purpose, with purpose. That belief that you can, and the community that is around you will help you do that too. Habits, habits, habits. So you're not motivated, you have really good habits. You're not inspired, you have really good habits. You're not lucky. You have really good habits. That's all it is. So again, the disconnect for most women is in underestimating what you can accomplish and achieve in your lives and overestimating what you can do in your day. We think we can do this to-do list of 50 items, 56, 100 items. We got 100 items on our to-do list, but we can't think of one big dream to accomplish with our life, this one precious life that we're not meant to be average or mediocre. I believe that every goal, every dream, every piece of vision that you have for your life is based on what we do every day. I don't think it's based on motivation or inspiration. I definitely don't think it's based on feeling like it. And I absolutely don't think it's based on convenience. Think about that for a moment. If you are a parent, you understand this, because having children is the epitome of being inconvenienced. And yet, would you trade it for the world? No. Why would you trade your dreams and your goals for your life for just being convenient? We got to build a life that's not just based on convenience or feeling like it or motivation or being inspired. Our visions and our goals are going to happen because of our daily habits. We moved to Florida because of my daily habits, not because I worked my business only on the days I felt like it or when it was convenient, because I had my eye on the big vision that I wanted to accomplish. And I figured, well, if I can do that, then what else can I do? And so it goes, and new habits form and a new dream forms. And we keep moving down that road because every one of us knows we've barely tapped into this incredible potential that's in all of us. Another book recommendation, The Confidence Code. If you haven't read that one, excellent. So over the past 20 years, I think really 20 years specifically, probably over a lifetime, but really over the past 20 years specifically, and definitely over the past 2 or 3 through the pandemic, I really took a hard look at what does it mean to be motivated, and why do people always ask me this question, and what is it really coming down to? And I feel like I've developed a process for taking motivation and inspiration off the table. We no longer talk about being inspired or feeling motivated, and we replace that with habits, which means anyone can do them. Habits take no talent. Habits take no talent. They simply require you to connect them to your vision for the life that you want to create on purpose with purpose. Okay, what does that look like? It's going to look like this, and we're going to break this down. And you can get this on my Instagram, which we'll talk about at the end too, free for you. So we've got 3 categories here: your dream big goals, your work hard goals, and your focused 5 goals. Notice, it's not your focused 50. It's your focused 5. And they're broken down into 3 parts. And every part is connected. Your dream big goals and your work hard goals and your focused 5 goals are the reason why what you do every day does not rely on motivation and does not rely on inspiration, rather relies on habits. This is how you get to accomplish creating your life on purpose with purpose, by aligning what you do every day with what you want to do in a shorter amount of time and what you want to do in your life. So let's break each one of these down. your dream big goals. And if you got a moment, I would definitely jot this down or come back to it a little bit later. So I always say we have a metric in the business that I'm in, and it's called Success Club. And so I say this all the time, that nobody gets up at 5 a.m. to hit Success Club. I tell that to my business partners all the time, because that's a metric that we have in our business. Nobody gets up at 5 a.m. to hit Success Club. And they're all like, oh my gosh, you're so right. You get up at 5 a.m. You get up at whatever time it is you're getting up. You do your personal development. Whatever it is that you're doing that are metrics in your business, in your life, you're getting up to do them, because they're connected with where you want to go in your life. I wasn't getting up at 4 a.m., at 4:30, at 5 for years, because I wanted to hit metrics in my business. I was getting up at that time so I could move my family to Florida. The dream big goal is the driver. It's why you get up. And it's why how I say to my business partners, I'm like, this is why you're a partner with Team Body, because you have this vision for your life. Now you will insert anything in there that applies to you. But my story is, to my business partners, this is why we get up: to help people change their lives, to build our businesses, to do, and then you insert your dream big goal. I wanted to give it to you in my language because this is how it makes sense to me. What is your dream big goal? And if it takes you a minute, and it often takes my business partners a minute to figure it out, because my business partners are mostly female, 99.9% of them. And guess what? We've forgotten how to dream. We've stopped giving ourselves permission how to dream big. Oh, it's okay that we give our children permission, or that we encourage others. But we've forgotten that we have goals and dreams ourselves too. And you've got to tap back into, what is that? When I ask my business partners, when I ask women that I work with, when I talk to these women that I mentor, that I help them navigate through this path of building a business, it will be stuff like, I want to buy a lake home. I want to pay for my child's college education. I want to travel, 3 months of the year. I want to do, and they've got these big dream big goals. And yet when they get up in the morning, they forget them. But what we do every day is connected to what we do in our lives. What we do every day is connected to what we do in our lives. And how do we connect that? By starting with where we want to go. It's like any good map. You got to know where you want to go. So for me, my dream big goal for years was move to Florida. Now I've got other dream big goals. I've got a big financial goal for my business, big, and it will be my driver. It will be my driver. I'm not going to be getting up at 5 a.m. to hit a metric in my business like Success Club. I'm going to be getting up at 5 a.m. because I want to build a $10 million business. That is my driver. So think about your dream big goal. You're going to write that down. Now, your work hard goals. Your work hard goals are what I made this word up. Okay. I call it cross-offable. These are cross-offable. I tend to work in 90 to 100 day increments, right? Quarters or 100 days. I think if you can write down your dreams and goals for 100 days in a row, if you can have simple habits for 100 days in a row, align with those dreams and goals, you can make gigantic progress towards them. So your work hard goals are goals that you can achieve and literally cross off in these 90 to 100 days. So if I've got a dream of building a $10 million business 5 years down the road, what are some goals in 90 to 100 day segments that, as I cross them off, are going to get me closer to those? Think about your dream big goal. Let's say you want to buy a lake house. What are some work hard goals that operate in these 90 to 100 day segments that you could cross off? Could it be saving X amount of dollars? Could it be doing X amount of dollars in your business? Could it be, you will have to do the work to figure that out yourself, because you are a grown-up human being and you have to figure out what is going to get you closer to your dream big goals. But I can guarantee you what won't get you closer is probably the stuff that's on your to-do list right now: doing laundry, making lunches, and picking up kids from carpool. So we've got to get so specific on what that dream big goal is. Move to Florida. Okay, now what are my work hard goals that are going to help me get there? What do I need to achieve in my business, dollars wise, advancement wise, recruiting wise? What do I need to do to move me a little bit closer there? And they are cross-offable. So put some thought into that. You've got your dream big goal. What are goals in 90 to 100-day segments that would stair step you closer to that? Remember that dream big goal is not something that you're going to achieve this year. I've been thinking about moving to Florida my entire life. It might not take you that long, but buy a lake home might be 5 to 10 years down the road. Awesome. That's what you're getting up at 5 a.m. for. I thought move to Florida was something that we were going to do 10 years from now. We've been here almost a year. Because when you align everything, you'd be surprised how quickly stuff can happen. So these work hard goals are cross-offable. And then your focused 5, no more than 5 actions or habits that move you closer to your work hard goals that align directly with your dream big goals. Again, this is not doing laundry or making lunches or mowing the lawn or anything else like that. You know what those are? Those are just part of being grown-up human beings with a grown-up life. What these are, let's say you want to start a website. I have a good friend who wants to be the go-to expert for Disney art. And one of her focused 5 was, I need to research URLs and I need to buy our URL and I need to purchase this URL and actually have a name for my website and what I want to do. That would be a focused 5. What are you doing today to create your life tomorrow? Now, could some of your focused 5 repeat? Of course, because you may need to do them lots of days in a row. I know with my business partners, there are some certain fundamental behaviors that they're putting on their focused 5 every single day because they need to repeat them every single day. That's why they're fundamentals. But these focused 5 and no more than 5, and you might have less, need to be so tightly aligned to your work hard goals and so tightly aligned to your dream big goals that there's no room for you to play around. You understand that you don't have time to play small, and you understand that you own this life that you're living. And yes, you still have to make lunches, and yes, you still have to mow the lawn, but those 2 actions are not going to get you closer to the life that you want to live. What is going on this focused 5 list that's specifically tied to your work hard goals and your dream big goals? It's actually going to help you create your life on purpose with purpose. You got to get tight and you got to get right. And when you get that all together, this is the process that removes motivation. I don't need to be motivated to get up at 5 a.m. I'm trying to move my family to Disney. I don't need to be motivated to get up at 5 a.m. or whatever it is, because I'm trying to build a lake home. I'm trying to be the go-to expert for Disney art. I'm trying to fund my child's college education, whatever it is. I don't need motivation, inspiration for that. I'm tapped into my habits. And every day I'm moving my life closer to the life that I want to create on purpose with purpose. These are my children. How do I stay motivated? I mean, how do I stay motivated? How do I not? I know that every day I have the power to make my life happen on purpose with purpose. It's not luck. It's not happenstance. It's not random. I do it every day based on my habits. And here's what's so amazing is every day my daughters get to see that. Listen to me closely. You don't get to tell your children that they can be and do anything in this life if you're not actively on a path pursuing that yourself. Let me say that again. You don't get to tell your children that they can be and do anything in this life if you are not actively on a path pursuing that yourself, however that looks, because they're watching you. And there's no doubt in my mind that my girls have done extraordinary stuff in their life that is partly their DNA and partly because they watched me set goals, have habits, fail a lot, and also succeed. So as I move through the process of creating my life on purpose with purpose, I'm modeling that for my daughters. This is the impact that we get to make. Every day we have the opportunity to live beyond ourselves. Every day we get to create legacy, big and small. Every day. It's generational legacy. It's breaking generational boundaries. It is shedding generational baggage. We have the opportunity to do that every single day in this life that we want, that we get to create. Every day it's based on habits. It's not motivation. It's not inspiration. It's not feeling like it. Every day we have the opportunity to create our life by design, not by default, by design, on purpose of purpose. And I believe this is our mission. I believe it's specifically our mission as women, because I believe if the world's going to change, it's going to be due to women doing the work. So I hope this is helpful. And if you will go to my Instagram, Julie Voris, you'll see a link in there for this free PDF. And so you can take this and play around with it, print it off, use it every single day. And I'm here for you. If you've got any questions, please message me. I am so happy to help because I'm very passionate about women creating their lives on purpose with purpose. Lisa?
Julie, yes, I have just a couple of questions because I know a little bit about your background.
Yeah.
Fitness. And thank you so much. That was so motivating. And it's such a great message about, I think, just the habits.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw the recent Netflix documentary Stutz.
No.
So it's basically an interview of a famous actor interviewing his psychiatrist, his psychologist. His name is Stutz. But anyway, what I wanted to bring up is that he draws this pyramid, and it's like basically the foundation of mental health. And like the base of the pyramid is your physical health, your body. The middle is your community and your network, and then the very top is you and your relationship with you. I'm paraphrasing slightly, but a statistic that he gave was the question was like, you know, how much does the foundation of your physical health have to do with your mental health? And he said it's 85% influence on your mental health, your physical, how you take care of yourself, sleep, exercise, nutrition. So if you could just speak to that a little bit, because I know that that's in your jam too, and what women need to know about that. Just if you could, maybe take the next couple minutes and talk about that, and then we'll close out.
Well, I think what women believe about taking care of themselves physically, working out, nutrition, all of that specifically. And some of this is just, welcome to the patriarchy. This is what we've been programmed to believe, that women believe it's all about looking a certain way. It's always about looking a certain way. And magazine covers and society, and it does not help that. Every magazine cover you look at is something about your abs or your biceps or whatever. And to me, everything's better on the other side of a workout. That doesn't mean the problems are better. It means I am better. I am better on the other side of moving my body, because our bodies are meant to move. I am better on the other side of fueling my body. I am better, which means I'm more patient. I'm more kind. I have more clarity. I can think better. I can do the work that I was put here on this planet to do, as was everyone, by taking care of myself. It's a statement to the universe that you are worth taking care of. And I don't know about you, but I grew up with my girls in the performing arts. My girls were in the performing arts, and we would go to these competitions. We would go to these recitals. We would go to all these events, and the kid would be out on the floor, top shape for their sport or for their, activity that they were doing. And the parent would be so concerned about what they were eating and all the things. And then the parent was in the bleachers, not taking care of themselves. I'm like, this is a disconnect here, as if the kid takes priority, but you don't get to take care of yourself as a human being person. At some point, your kid sees that. And taking care of yourself, you have to disconnect from what you see in society and understand, no, I'm moving my body and I am fueling my body mentally, physically, all of it, because I have value and I have worth, and I am a better human being on the other side of that movement, on the other side of that good nutrition. I'm a more patient parent. I'm a better spouse. I'm a better human being to do the work that I was put here on this planet to do. I don't care about your size or your weight or any of that. That's just all the BS stuff that society has programmed us to believe is important. None of it's important. What's important is, are you taking care of you, because you have inherent value and you matter? Once you believe that, then it's not hard to get up and go do a workout, because it's about more than the before and after picture or what the scale says.
Yeah. And that's actually the message. This actor that was doing the interviewing, he was overweight as a child and was bullied and was, made to feel ashamed. And so his message from his, basically his network was more like, it had to do with how you look and not how you feel. And I think the educational process of eating right and exercise and nutrition is focused so much on your look versus like
100%. Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until I was watching that. I was like, wow, like that's true. Like never was the message when I was in school or growing up, oh, if you, do this, you're going to actually feel good. It's going to make you reverse depression. It's going to make have all these positive benefits on your mental health. Like that's never been the message.
No.
And I think like that's so sad.
But for women.
Yeah.
It's never been the message for women. I can't really speak to how men receive those kinds of messages, but it's never been the message for women.
Yeah.
And I think that's changing. I think that we're seeing that change. I know my daughters have said no to that message, and they're hearing it and crafting new messages that work for them. And there probably isn't a woman on the planet that hasn't walked through some sort of disordered eating at some point in some way. And it's time to shed that generational baggage. It's time to look and see, well, where did we maybe pick that up? And guess what? We have a choice to put that down. And we have a choice to make a different story and to actually write a different story. And that's a pretty cool opportunity that we have right now.
Yes. Well, Julie, thank you for being a female disruptor. Do you have any last words of wisdom for our female disruptors and what, maybe they can do in the next year?
I would say this, that nobody needs women in any way dreaming, playing, or living small at all. That does not serve the world. But more importantly, on a granular level, it doesn't serve your family. It doesn't serve your community. It does not serve you. And the more women we have literally living out loud, boldly and unapologetically, going after your goals and your dreams, modeling that for your children, modeling that for your community, keeping the promises that you're making to yourself. Instead of hitting snooze, keeping the promises that you're making to yourself instead of snoozing on your life. The more women we have getting up and going after life and playing big, and that will change the world more than anything else. That will change the world, because rising tides lift all ships. So no more playing small. That doesn't help anyone. It doesn't serve anyone. Most of all, you. It's time to level up. It's time to play big, because you were put here to do that. So let's tap into it.
I love that, Julie. And I want to add to what you're saying that one of our sponsors is Desir, and they are a global business school, and they are giving 4 MBA scholarship opportunities away to female disruptors that are here. So it doesn't matter where you live, it's going to be online, and no matter how old you are, it doesn't matter. It's never too late to go back to school or go to school. So this is an amazing opportunity. I feel privileged and honored to be able to share this with female disruptors. So make sure if you are interested that you register for that giveaway that we're going to be passing around. So Julie, thank you again so much for being a female disruptor. I hope we can meet in real life for lunch.
I know. We live right here. We must meet and hang out in real life.
Yes. And if we do, we'll do an Instagram live to make
100%.
Make sure you head over to Julie's giveaway. Follow her on Instagram. She's amazing. She's helps me keep motivated every day. So thank you and namaste.